So the course again is Introduction to Sociology, CSS111. Today we'll be looking into into social differentiation and religion, social differentiation and religion. So two aspects that we'll be dealing with today: social differentiation and religion. So we'll take them one after the other. The first aspect has to do with social differentiation. All right. Then the second aspect is religion. Religion. So before we dig deep into these topics, let's look at the intended learning outcomes for this lesson. Okay. So at the completion or at the end of this lesson, you should be able to define the term social differentiation. You should also be able to explain how members are distributed in the society. You should be able to define the term religion, which is the second aspect of the topics we'll be dealing with. Then you should be able to state and explain the elements of religion. Elements of religion, as you get to know. Then you should again be able to exemplify the three views of religion and society. There are three powerful views. We'll deal with that, and it's expected that you should know that at the end of the lesson. Finally, you should be able to state and explain the nature of religion with reference to its distinctive types. All right, there are different types of religion. So to state them and discuss them extensively. Okay, so without wasting much time, let's move on to the first aspect of this lesson, which is social differentiation. Social differentiation. Social differentiation. In simple terms, how do people differ? All right, how do people differ socially? What are the differences that exist between societies, between people? That is the simple explanation about social differentiation. Right? It talks about differences that exist between people, individuals, society, different culture. Right? That general term to show the sociological term to explain these differences, all right, that exist between people, culture, society, environment, and all of that is called social differentiation. All right. So by way of definition, social differentiation is the division of every human society into distinctive social rules and functions based upon both inherited and acquired differences. All right. In the inheritance here, it has to do with whether biologically or by way of a family inheritance. All right. Some people are born to become kings. All right. It's an ancestral thing. They inherited that position. All right. And if it is acquired, maybe by way of their personal characteristics or by way of their competence. Okay. Social differentiation has to do with the division of every human society, all right, into distinctive social rules. Some are doctors, some are nurses, some are teachers, some are students, so on and so forth. You can see the image here showing you how people differ. You have footballers here, you have farmers, you have people doing all sorts of things. Okay, that shows the how people differ socially, okay, in terms of their statuses, their roles, their functions in the society, and all of that. Okay, so social differentiation is the division of every human society into distinctive social rules and functions, and it is based upon inheritance and the acquired differences. Some are inherited, some are acquired as members of society. Okay. All right. Now, you need to know that the coordination of individual efforts to maintain the society is achieved through cultural specialization. Cultural specialization. Now, this has to do with every individual having their roles to play, where they are specialized. All right, playing your role in your specialized area. So it is only when individuals play their specialized roles that the society will be maintained. All right, the goals of society will be achieved. You cannot be here and there at the same time. So that basic principle of sticking to your area of specialization in order to achieve societal goal is called cultural specialization. All right, you are specializing your area according to the culture, according to what is obtainable in that society. So you that specialization in order to achieve societal goal or to maintain the society is done through cultural specialization. Okay, now having explained that, let's move on to the distribution of members of a society, distribution of members of a society to available positions. All right, how are members in a society, how are individuals in a society distributed to available positions? How do they achieve or how do they earn their different positions in the society? Why are some governors, why are some fullers, why are some leaders, why are some managers, and all of that? How is that distribution done? As you can see in this image, you can see some at the lower level, and sorry, this lady at the lower level, this other one at the higher level, others in the intermediate level. Okay, so people are distributed into different levels in society, and that is done systematically. All right, it is done systematically. Now, how are they distributed? The first one is by ranking. By ranking, people are distributed into different positions, available positions, by ranking. What does this mean? It is a way in which human societies distribute their members in the available social positions. Now, there must be available social positions in the society of which people are now distributed. All right. Now, the available social positions are valued differently. They are valued differently they are ordered first, second, third, fourth, and so on and so forth. All right. When they are ordered according to their importance. According to their importance, it's like you have an organization. You have an organization where you have the manager, or let's say the CEO, the manager, the supervisor, then other line and staff. Okay, those positions are arranged according to their order of importance. All right, and individuals are now filled into those positions based on the order of importance. All right, so individuals who are to take the most tasky job, the most delicate job that requires skill, that requires the business or the organization to survive, are given more. They are highly placed. All right, they are ranked highly. For instance, the manager. Let's say this is the manager here. Everything revolves around him. So such a person is ranked, is given a higher position, and of course, the reward for that position is higher than the individual that is just at the bottom right here. Okay, because this position here, when ranked, is discovered to be a very sensitive position, and so individuals handling very sensitive positions should be rewarded. They are given more reward than individuals who handle less sensitive position. So by virtue of that ranking according to the order of importance of those positions, individuals are placed to perform their roles. Again, another way of distributing individuals is by stratification. We are going to take on social stratification probably in our next class, but for a very brief look, stratification has to do with the placement of members of the society into positions that are ranked. All right, it is usually in a graded hierarchy of socially superior or inferior. Now, social stratification has to do with classification. Our individuals are classed based on superiority and inferiority. Okay, based on superiority and inferiority. Positions are ranked in a graded hierarchy of socially superior or inferior ranks. All right, it is almost similar to ranking, but the difference is that in ranking, people are placed based on importance, all right, order of importance of the positions. But in social stratification, it has to do with socially superior or inferior ranks, all right, socially superior inferior ranks. This has to do with power and authority. It is more related to power and authority. All right. Now let's look into, before we move into the next aspect of this lesson. We are already done with the first aspect, which is social differentiation. Before we move into the next aspect, please take down this class activity for yourself, something you have to do religiously, all right, just to be sure that you understand the lesson that has been taught. What is social differentiation? You should be able to define this term, all right. With concrete examples, explain how members of a society are distributed to available positions. Remember, we have just talked about that, which their members are distributed essentially in two ways, either by ranking or by stratification. Okay, ranking has to do with the importance of the priority of those positions. Why by stratification, it has to do with superiority and inferiority. Okay, so let's take on the next the next topic, the next area of this lesson. Religion. This is a common word that you have heard many times, all right, that you have heard many times. So we're just going to look into this term now. By way of definition, it is a set of beliefs. If you remember, when we talked about norms, elements of culture, we mentioned beliefs. All right, beliefs are what people hold to be true. Okay, that's it. That's a simple definition. What people hold to be true. So religion is a set of beliefs, symbols, and practices, which is based on the idea of the sacred. This is a key term, of the sacred, and which unites believers into a social religious community. Now, this definition captures the fact that it has to do with the belief, symbols. You can see these symbols here, right? The cuts across different religion, and practices. Belief, symbols, and practices. Beliefs, what people hold to be true. Symbols, what have meanings embedded in them, like you have these symbols right here. And practices, what members of those religions actually do, right? Their interaction, their actions and inactions, which is based on the idea of the sacred, right? It's based on what they hold to be true. The sacred, what is abstract, in most times not even seen, and which unites believers into a social religious group. So it is that sacred or the belief that unites members of that religion as believers, all right, and makes them a social religious group. They become one. They have a common belief, a common they practice common worship system. Okay, it binds them together as a religious group or community. All right, so you may want to keep this definition. It is actually key to explaining the concept of religion. All right, so let's look into elements of religion. What are the elements of religion? Elements of religion, we have four basic elements of religion. The first one is belief. We have already talked about this, what people hold to be true. A conviction that cannot be proved or disproved by ordinary means. What people hold to be true cannot be proved or disproved by ordinary saying it is white or black, right? It is something that people just generally believe that you cannot go against, all right? What works for them, they cannot actually prove them or even disprove them. All right, the next one is ritual. Rituals. Ritual is a formal, stylized enactment of religious belief. Now, the way they practice these beliefs is by way of ritualism, by way of ritual. All right, so it is their formal practice to stylize the enactment of their religion or their religious belief. Example, people hold procession, their religion. They chant, all right, they chant choruses, they also pray, sacraments, and all of that. All of these are rituals according to the religious belief. Then we have the subjective experience, the product of belief and ritual. Now, this is a key element of culture because members of a particular religion would have been used to their beliefs and how they practice those beliefs by way of rituals. Okay, so it becomes an experience for those members and they hold on to that. So this becomes a key aspect or element of religion. Then community, every religion is more of a community and members belong to that religion as a community and they are identified by their religion. So it is the belonging to a community of believers. This is central. It's a central part of religious experience. So every member belong to a community of believers. Community of believers. All right. So the four essential elements of religion are beliefs, rituals, subjective experience. Subjective experience is usually a product of belief and ritualism or rituals. Yeah. Then community. This is the belonging to a particular group. As an element of religion, members belong to that particular religion. Okay. All right. Let's look at religion and society. There are three views about religion and society. That's the relationship between religion and society. Three scholars have actually looked at this relationship. First one is Emile Durkheim. You remember this, the father of sociology, recognized as the father of sociology. He sees religion as a celebration of society order. As religion is more of a pathway that organizes society. So religion is key. Without society, there will be much of there will not be social order. Right? There will not be social order. So religion is what keeps the society together and makes people behave the way they do. All right. Then Karl Marx sees religion as the instrument of oppression used by the ruling class to cover up economic exploitation of the masses. This is simple enough. That is what Karl Marx sees religion to be. Remember, Karl Marx is a German scholar, an economist who divided society, member society into two groups: the bourgeoisie and the proletariat. All right. You know, it's more associated to conflict, and to him, religion is the instrument of oppression used by the ruling class, those at the top, to cover up economic exploitation of the masses. Now, when they exploit the masses, they come back to their various religious groups and try to make them feel happy by saying, by quoting some beliefs in those religions, just to make the masses happy. Okay. Then Max Weber is an agent of social change. He said religion is an agent of social change. That religion is what brings changes. He's generally known for his concept that religion is the opium of the masses or the opium of the people. Okay, I'm sure you would have heard about this. So wherever you hear, this may not be your study material, but it is an important point for all learners of Introduction to Sociology. The balance that religion is the opium of the masses is associated with Karl Marx. All right, sorry, with Max Weber. Religion is the opium of the masses. Religion is what again makes people it open people's eyes and at the same time binds them together. Okay. So these are the three key views of religion and society. All right, now let's look at the nature of religion. The nature of religion. What are the different distinct types of religion? Sociologists have classified religion into four distinct types. The first one is a church. Second one, sect. This church, you could term it established church, right? Established church, sect, denomination, and cult. Okay. Now, the conceptualization of church here does not necessarily mean a Christian organization. All right, it doesn't necessarily mean a Christian organization, but to any established religion, right? Any established religion is termed a church in this context, at least in this context. All right, but in the general context, in the general societal context, a church has to do with Christian organization. But in the sociological classification of types of religion, church here is used to mean established religion. Established religion, right? A group of people who are subject to a common belief or belief system. All right, so let's take them one after the other, beginning with the church. The church. Now, established church, that's the first one. It's a religious organization that claims unique legitimacy and has a positive relationship to society. Now, this is a key word. It has a positive relationship to society. Religion is usually generally it gains societal approval, right? Members are this. Even in the constitution, you have freedom of worship, so members are free to worship based on their church system, all right, the approved religion that should exist in society. An established church is the official religion of each society. So any established place of worship is an official religion of that society. All right, so again, I will emphasize, do not confuse the term church with Christian organization. We have said it's an established religion, right? An established religion. All right, so let's look at the next one. Okay, let's look at the next one here. Sect. Sect. You have heard of religion sect. Religion sect. A sect is a religious organization that asserts, all right, its unique legitimacy. All right, it says it is legitimate, but stands apart from society. Okay, it stands apart from society. It does not agree with society. Any sect doesn't tend to agree with the tenets of society. This also it has some characteristics that are similar with a cult. Right, some very close characteristics with a cult. A sect usually claims to have a monopoly over the route to salvation. According to them, it is only through their belief systems that members can gain salvation. Okay, we have different sects even in Nigeria. At some point, the Boko Haram was classified as a sect. Right, the Shiite religious group was classified as a sect. Right, based on these distinct characteristics. All right, let's take a look at the next one, which is denomination. Okay, all right, denomination. Now, I've just summarized the characteristics of denomination. It is less exclusive than a sect. All right, this is quite outstanding from a sect. More tolerant of diversity of religious group. It accepts different religious group. It is more worldly, right? It's more worldly. It's more in tune with society. It is more in tune with what is seen as the norm of society. It is less demanding of their members, right? Unlike a sect that will have rules for members to follow, or even a cult group that will have rules for members to follow. It has a positive relationship with society. We have stated that already. Then it is known to accept the legitimacy of other religion. This is similar to this second point right here. Okay, similar to that. It's more tolerant of diversity of religious group. It is known to accept the legitimacy of other religions. So denominations are not too more of rigid organizations that do not tolerate other religious groups. They do tolerate other religious groups. So it's more of an open system that allows people to worship and believe in whatever they want to believe. All right, let's look at the next one. Cult. A cult. Okay, a cult is a religious organization. You're surprised about that, I guess. It's a religious organization that accepts the legitimacy of other religions, okay, you have to correct this, okay, but has a negative relationship to society. Just like you have sorry, just a minute. Just like you have a sect, all right, like I said, they share similar characteristics, but has a negative relationship to society. Like a sect, okay, a cult holds that there's something wrong with the way most people in society live. They don't believe in the norms, they don't believe how people live. Uh, where sects are often at war with society, all right, this is the difference here now. This is the difference between sect and a cult. For sect, they are at war with society, but for cult, they are at war with the individual, right? They are at war with individuals. Both cult and sect have very strict rules that members must follow. For the sect, they tend to influence the society. For a sect, tend to influence the society to join them, to change what society is doing. But for cults, they tend to influence the individual, to change the individual's lifestyle to conform with their rules and their norms. Okay, that's it. So we have quickly looked into what religion is. Again, as usual, there are some class activity you will have to go through yourself just to be sure that you do understand this second aspect of the lesson. What is religion? You need to define that. We have already done that. Just be sure that you understand that. Those are the key points. State and explain the elements of religion. Elements of religion. Remember, belief, that's one of it. We talked about that. Explain the views between religion and society. All right, three views. There are three views: Karl Marx and Durkheim, Max Weber. We spoke about the three views. Then analyze the nature of religion, taking into consideration the types of religion. Types of religion. A church, a sect, a cult. We have mentioned all of that. So that's the summary. So try to attempt all of this on your own, just to be sure that you have a perfect grasp of those key points. Okay. All right. So thanks for watching to this point. Before I go, as usual, thank you so much.